Oh no! The cards are under attack! And now they're gonna take off our head! Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts commentary. And, yeah, little known fact, you can actually hit the queen, whatever the hell her name is, and, that actually temporarily stuns all the cards. Which is actually rather important, because you want to destroy this thing before time runs out. Yes, I would actually consider this to be the game's earliest choke point, because, those cards can't be defeated for long. So you gotta hurry and take out this little tower thing. Which is, easier said than done in some cases, because the cards do hit hard. And again, as you could plainly tell by the queen, not being stunned for long, they also don't stay stunned for long. I believe if you don't get any of the evidence, at all, your companions are pretty much locked in cages and you either have to free them or just destroy the, cage thing. What is this? The Alice? She is the gone. So, yeah, Alice is pretty much missing here. So, basically, that's pretty much the end of the trial right here. And no, Alice didn't wake up and go back to the real world or anything of the sort, she just, disappeared. Who or what could have been responsible? Could it have been Waka? Could it have been the Heartless? Could it have been Titus? Could it have been Polly? I don't know. Maybe it was even Riku. Oh, we're gonna need some help to figure out who was behind this. It was the Cheshire Cats. Where is she, you little bastards? But again, this is pretty much going to be filling up the second part of Wonderland. We gotta find Alice before time runs out. Will we succeed or will we fail? Who knows? But basically, this is ostensibly going to be another part of grinding. And again, as I mentioned in the last part, I do have a general idea of what I'm meant to be doing. It's just that I tend to... I don't want to say get lost necessarily, it's that I just kind of forget the steps to prepare ourselves for fighting the big bad Heartless of this area. Or at least the one that's, you know, here for us to seal the keyhole. I mean, we do get a few important things done here in this session, so we're not going to be completely wandering around aimlessly, but, you know, there are just a few aspects about it that just, I don't know. And again, that was what I was talking about earlier, with the Red Nocturnes giving you tech points, as Donald had just proven. And of course, this is me desperately trying to get as much usage out of Blizzard as I can, because I don't really use it all that much. Though I really should, though. It's actually a pretty decent, ice shotgun, if that makes any sense, but, yeah. And as you can tell with the boulder being spat out that flower, that means we've got a new place to explore. And we can show you the world. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that's pretty much how the boulder was removed, and why you shouldn't try removing it like I did in the last part. But what is this? We now come across the Mad Hatter and the rabbit. I'm not exactly sure what that rabbit's meant to be. No, I'm pretty sure it's meant to be the hare, or so I assume. Wasn't there meant to be like other animals in Alice in Wonderland, like a tortoise or a turtle or something? I'm only... whatever. Oh no, but they were sad. They're having a very happy unbirthday. Kinda curious as to what this means, actually, but, who knows, maybe they'll never grow old, never die, and have a happy unbirthday. See? They didn't get anything for dinner, and in its place is a fat Heartless. Yeah, I suppose I should probably go into Heartless enemies. These enemies, I think they're called large bodies. But yeah, of course, considering the fact that they're fat, they deflect any attack coming from the front. Which is, apropos, because their reaction is what happens when you fight a large body. But again, given the fact that they're thick as pig shit, we'll talk about those later, but in the meantime, let's run away! Because Sora doesn't like eating his mushrooms for dinner. But yeah, the large body basically deflects attacks from the frontwards, so you've got to go either for its head or the back. And of course, when you damage it enough, it starts getting pissed off and bounces all around and tries to do like a little charge attack. And of course, if you deflect that charge attack using guard or just swing on your keyblade, you get tech points for it. So, yeah, decent way of grinding the early game if you're at lower levels. But I mean, putting that aside again, the key to winning the whole Happy Unbirthday game is basically playing a game of musical chairs, really. Just select the chairs that look kind of uncomfortable, and avoid the ones which are comfortable. Don't sit in the center seat, because otherwise everything will go away and you have to fight Heartless. Like so. There we go. And again, if you get it correctly, you get showered with gifts, and potions, and lotions, and nice bodily function stuff, like perfume and Axe body spray. Pop culture references, yeah! You also get shot with a lot of MP, so that's useful if you don't want to waste your ethers. But again, if you are curiouser and curiouser, you can actually have a little scan above on the hedges, and you will find some rather illustrious gifts waiting up there, but we cannot get it yet, for we lack the access. And try as you might know, you can't use the chairs to get up there. You're gonna have to be waiting quite a while. No, Sora, it is futile. You cannot get up there, no matter how many times you see that treasure chest. Jesus Christ, the hare's face is fucking scary, man. I don't want to be left in a room alone with it. He's probably looking at you thinking like, why are you wearing that stupid man suit? But in any case, again, to reiterate, I know what I'm doing, kind of, it's just the order of things, which is a bit bizarre. Again, I mentioned before with the Bazaar Room, you basically had to, you know, just sort of rearrange things around and get it set up. Again, you mainly do that in exchange for, you know, little gifts and trinkets here and there, but in this case, you basically need to prepare the room by lighting these torches here and flipping the Bazaar Room around so that you can, well, prepare for the boss fight. What that boss fight is, well, if you've seen the Chain of Memories commentary, you'll know what it is, but for now, we stay silent. Again, like, I mean, this is really the only part of the game that I think would really give anybody early game a little bit of a trickery, but again, maybe this is just my experience, you know, not being too clear on what order you meant to do things, just kind of playing through here. And that's what I meant with the large bodies. Again, when they start glowing purple, they'll charge right towards you, and if you want those tasty tech points, be sure to guard. So again, you don't need to use fire magic, just press the triangle button, and you'll, well, light the flame. And get some stuff for your efforts. And we got a defense up. Again, that's also something to bring up. Again, when you get items like defense up, power up, or AP up, again, you can choose to equip it to either Donald, Goofy, or Sora, although most players will typically tell you to, well, give them to Sora, because he's the only character you play as, and, well, really, you could use the stat bar so you need. Though, I decided to use it on Donald, because, I like my friends. We gotta share it with our friends. They give us strength, comfort, and power. This is more of an endgame theme. Again, you need to, well, I'm pretty sure you either need to use, no. What am I thinking of? Again, you use the White Trinity to get the Keyblade of this world, and of course, in order to strike those little, honky nuts, whatever the fuck they're called, again, you use Thunder, which we don't have yet, so, dang. But again, more finagling around with giving these things elixirs, because these flowers are fucking high rollers. Can't have any of that regular potion shit, we gotta have some elixirs. And by god, that was painful. But at least we get a mithril shard for our efforts, so it's all good in the hood. Well, I guess they aren't all that fancy, they can take regular potions too. But I mean, that being said though, you are rewarded for your efforts, so fair trade-off, kind of, in some cases. But again, if you could also notice and peek around the corner, that was the area that was barred off in the right next to the Merry Unbirthday Miss thing, whatever. So, what other Alice in Wonderland tangents can I use to pass the time? Well, thankfully, without the presence of the Mad Hatter, we don't have to witness Johnny Depp fudder-whacking, or breakdancing, whatever the fuck it was called. Again, like, I mean, a lot of these areas, a lot of these treasure chests you can usually access when you get abilities later on in the game, but at the same time, though, there is a fair bit of exploration that you can do. Like, I mean, I didn't show off a lot of the stuff you can do by interacting with the Bazaar Room and showcasing a lot of the additional items that you can interact with once you know, get them in the right positions, but again, there is a fair bit you can do on revisit to these worlds, and, you know, one such example is actually right now. You see, these little shadows don't seem like too big of a deal. Well, there's a bit of a caveat to that. They'll continually grow in number, and... oh no, wait, we're not quite there yet, but they will grow into Giga Shadows, which is basically giant versions of these shadows, and, well, a bit of a very stingy caveat, because you need to destroy all these Heartless and make sure that they don't attack you and disappear, because, well, you won't be getting your Fury Shard. I'm not really too sure about the drop rate for them in terms of pure mathematics, but... yeah, you're gonna make sure to defeat all of them, otherwise, again, they attack you just once, they disappear because, yeah, just like that, really. And that's pretty fucking annoying. Again, like, I mean, I'd say it's better recommended to get a higher level Keyblade so that you have a better means of attacking them and, you know, getting the Fury Stone, but yeah, that's the way you do it. I was initially going to attempt this a bit later on, but I think I've kind of forgot that I actually had this footage here, so, yeah, fuck it. And also that was a edit, because, well, I initially did a bit more grinding, right back in the area where you first start the world, but it wasn't really too important, and plus we've kind of gone on for time as long as we have already here. The cards and the queen don't actually do anything, it's basically just, I'm the queen, fuck you, I'm the best, you all are not the best, thus concludes my speech, kill them all. So, yeah. Like, I mean, really, we're just pretty much being led like lambs to a kebab shop with the, well, you know, heartless boss and the Cheshire Cat. Now, let's talk about some white mushrooms. What are these white mushrooms? Well, they don't like fire. Again, it's basically a game of, well, if you could see them. Again, it's basically a game of knowing how to... What was it called again? Charades, that's it. Again, you need to basically use the appropriate magic depending on what these white mushrooms are doing. Again, if they start fanning their face, that means they're hot, so you need to use Blizzard. Again, if you see the little light particle, heavenly light shining down on them, you use Thunder. And again, if they're shivering cold, that's when you use Fire. Now, you might be saying you get tech points, but why would we want to do that? Well, we gotta do it upwards of 3 times in order to get magic cards. What are magic cards? Well, they're basically a proof of how fucking badassly skilled you are at using magic, and, well, for our efforts we get a little proof from Merlin, which gets us the Dream Shield, which can be given to Goofy. Again, like, I mean, I'm probably making it sound a bit more complicated than it is, but, again, you can collect fire arts, and that basically says to Merlin, you are cool, and the best, and everyone else is not the best. Problem is, though, you might find yourself running out of MP if you want to get multiple arts, because, I mean, as you can see there, they had, you know, the Blizzard and Thunder Towers as well as Fire, so, yeah, considering our MP at the moment, it isn't exactly kosher, and we don't have MP gift yet, so, yeah. In terms of what the white mushrooms, raggy. In terms of what the white mushrooms are really there for, again, they don't attack you, they don't really do much of anything else other than wander around and, you know, just dance a jig. But I mean, you know, if you want to get the Dream Shield, which is actually a pretty well balanced shield and honestly one of Goofy's better weapons in the game, I highly recommend you go after it. I believe there is something similar you can get if you get all the levels of magic, which of course gets you the Dream Rod, I believe, which is, you know, the magical rod that we saw at the beginning of the game, which you can give to Donald. So again, it's worth going out of your way to do both of these things. But, again, that's all to come later. I'll be showing these off and you'll see what I mean. I will say, though, that white mushrooms in terms of spawn rates, again, they have very specific rooms that they spawn in. If you want to get them to spawn consistently, again, just enter a room, if you see them, basically just try and make sure to get as many arts as you can, down some ethers. Again, given the fact that you are in combat mode, you can't exactly go into the pause menu, so you can only, well again, either go as far away from them as you can and, you know, stock yourself up with a bunch of mega ethers and all that. But otherwise, just leave 2 rooms, come back, and see if you can get them to spawn. Again, there are very specific rooms that they spawn in, and, well, this is the one for Wonderland. One for Wonderland. Like the epic football team, and... whatever. Again, I'm also going to be bringing up another thing in terms of gameplay features. I'm also going to be getting a Blue Trinity here, mainly just out of the fact that I wasn't really sure if I could get access to this area again, or convenience. I don't really remember, but again, that's going to be coming up quite soon. And again, this is exactly what I'm talking about, you know, you have very specific tells and things you need to do to access specific areas. This is what you use to get access to the other torches, and, well, that's pretty much how you go about that. I mean, really, it's something I probably should have figured out a much longer time ago, but... Again, like, while I will say that my memory of this game is pretty fresh, it was, not quite as fresh as I would've liked it. I ain't freshest no more. I ain't 90s! But again, this is pretty much the Trinity that I got because I felt like if I didn't get it there, then I would've forgotten about it. But at least we got some tech points for our effort, which is tasty and nice. Yes, all for one and all for me. I really wish that sound clip didn't cut out when I was recording the epic meeting of Donald, Goofy, and Sora. Again, like, I mean, as I was trying to mention before, I got cut off with the white mushrooms. Yeah, this area is something that really does open up more when you have access to more of your abilities, but again, that's what the cleanup video is for, and that's what we will be seeing later. But what are we gonna be seeing now? Well, we're gonna be seeing some shit. Like, the top of this area. The top of the hedge maze, which is a solid bush. And yeah, that's basically how you come across Dalmatians. They're hidden in these little boxes, they're suffocating to death, and we must rescue them. Although I'm pretty sure by the time Sora rescues them, they're probably already dead, dying of starvation, eating their fellow puppies, which is morbid to think about. Well, then again, that being said though, like, I mean, 99 Dalmatian puppies living in the house, you know, who's gonna feed all of them? They probably don't have enough dog chow, and considering the Heartless are running about, you know, survival of the fittest. And speaking of survival of the fattest, it's the Cheshire Cat. So yeah, turn on the light, and basically just get the Heartless to spawn. As I mentioned before, there are more things you can do, but fuck it, I've already brought that up before. Just commit some more violence, defeat the Heartless, and be heroic and light the torches. And again, of course, because he's fat, every fat enemy has a stomp move. Well, if I have any final closing remarks on Wonderland, even though we're not quite done with the level yet, because we've still got violence and traversal to get down. Again, I want to reiterate, like, I mean, it is a pretty decent level, but it's... I don't know. It is usually the level that I recommend people start off with, because the other level that you have access to is, well, what we'll be getting to next time, is more of like a gauntlet kind of thing, so again, I'd recommend going through this to get a feel for what the rest of the game is going to be like. I mean, I will say that Traverse Town does a decent job of introducing the game, you know, the average player to what Kingdom Hearts really offers, but I think this in particular does, you know, have a unique twist of its own. I mean, naturally, since it has, you know, Wonderland's very charming kind of aesthetic. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the original 1950s Disney movie, but again, I can assume that it does at least accurately reflect what the movie was like in some aspects. But I mean, even in that case, I think in regards to just being Kingdom Hearts on its own, I don't know, it's an enjoyable world to start things off with. Nothing too heavy, nothing too light, nothing too dark, somewhere in between the nothingness. But regardless as such, ooh, it's the white mushrooms. And again, as I mentioned previously, one of the biggest banes that you're going to be having throughout your adventure is, again, having them either wander around, disappear before you're finished giving the third tier of magic spells to inflict upon them, or having Donald and Goofy just stand in front of a white mushroom and interrupt what you're trying to see. Like, honest to God, Donald just standing there is just... ugh, God, it makes me nervous as fuck. And I mean, considering the fact that they're in battle mode, they will, on the odd occasion, wander around on the attempt to search for an enemy and just sort of, you know, flick about, just trying to look for, you know, enemies to kill, and it's aggravating, man. But I mean, at least we got Blizzard Arts, and in terms of how I'm gonna be handling the rest of the White Mushroom stuff, I think I might show it off on the way, or at least cut into it whenever we happen to find them, but again, like, I mean, it's... you don't need to do this, it's just something you can do if you happen to either need the MP or if you want to get the Dream Shield, but again, that's for you to decide if you ever decide to pick this game up for yourselves. But anyway, at long last, we're finally done with this shit, and as you can see, that flower that was initially a 2D object on the board is now 3D. So, talk to the Cheshire Cat, and this is pretty much your warning to either turn back and, well, heal up and get your supplies, or, well, get ready to be ambushed. Doesn't this guy look familiar? Well, he shouldn't, because I spent the night in Castle Oblivion. This is the Trickmaster, and he has a very different color scheme to what he had in the original game. Again, you probably saw what he looked like in Chain of Memories, but again, it was a lot more red. This here changed the color scheme to this, arguably more fitting for Wonderland, but also very bizarre pink color pattern. And while I will say he's a lot more tolerable to fight here than he was in Chain of Memories, not by much. Again, his hitbox is mainly restricted towards his upper body, but again, because he's got some very lanky legs, you can't really get to him very well, and that's kind of a pain in the ass. He does have a very long reach. I do believe... Actually, can he slam the table down, or was that just in Chain of Memories? I don't quite remember. Again, the only real things I can really recommend is just jump up on the table, have at it. Don't use fire, because that's one of his elements. Although, that being said though, when he does light his batons and, you know, sets them on fire and twirls them around, if you use Blizzard and take him out, you get some tech points for it, so... yeah. I tried doing it here, but I didn't quite succeed, so if at first you don't succeed, just fucking beat the shit out of them. That's my recommendation. Thankfully though, unlike Chain of Memories though, he does drop HP balls, so yeah, you're not entirely screwed when it comes to health, but at the same time, like, I mean, at a point in the game where you don't have Cure, he can be a lifesaver. A lightsaber of death. That being said though, I also want to comment on the boss music right here, Shrouding Dark Cloud. Pretty good tune, definitely much better than the original PS2 mix, because, good lord, I couldn't really stand the PS2 midis. And if there's also another thing I could say about Heartless boss design, I really fucking love Kingdom Hearts 1 more than any other game for the way in which they were able to design their creatures. More Kingdom Hearts games should have Heartless bosses, which was thankfully rectified in Kingdom Hearts 3, which had a few great ones, but I don't know. Like, I mean, it's really good to see them just go all out with the Heartless bosses. I mean, I do enjoy fighting the Disney villains as well, you know, when we come across them, but I don't know, there's just something really creative about Tetsuya Nomura's monster designs. They're just, I don't know, they're really fun, man. But alas, the Trick Master has been tricked for the last time. Which is pretty much going to be the last time I'm fighting him, so, farewell, Trick Master. You may have won at cards, but I got you back in the end. And with your heart destroyed, may thee that you find peace in this world. Or don't. Return to Kingdom Hearts from whence you came, you sinful fuck.
What a racket. How's a doorknob to get any sleep?
What is this gummy block? Well, guess we'll have to find out next time, because now that the Trickmaster's heart belongs again to darkness. I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and I will see you next time in the Kingdom Hearts commentary. Bye-bye.